Hello everyone, welcome to the video today, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to get the golden scarab and how to craft golden foots. And this is basically a farming method as well that I enjoy using. It's like another very good method to use to get the golden foots, and you can use these to stack and get as many foul foots as you want. You can use the foul foots and stack it with the golden scarab. Okay, so we've already talked about what grace sites in the previous video that you will obtain in helping you out. This having the Agil Lake North grace site is going to come in handy, and if not, it's just a short track over there along this trail. So what we're going to need from the very start of this video is we're going to need to obtain the bow for this. So with that being said, I'm going to take y'all on a little adventure to show you where to get the bow. On top of that, in the beginning of this game, to defeat Godric, I'm going to need a decent weapon, which I really needed to kind of disclose in the first video, which a lot of people already have them a decent weapon. You're going to need to defeat both forms before you get to this side of grace. So with that being said, there's 3 weapons I suggest anybody using from the start. It's very kind of easy to obtain. Number 1 being, like, if you're a dex build or samurai build, would be the Uchiha blade, and you can obtain that going into the Death Touched Catacombs, which is like very first of the game. It's like along the beaten path near where you get the talisman, turtle talisman. So you just track into there, you go to the left, you jump off the little thing, go behind the little pillars, which is off the little drop off beside the stairs, and you cut left again, and it's right on the end. It's very easy to obtain. Another weapon I would suggest using would be Bloodhound's Fang. To get Bloodhound's Fang, you're going to do Vlad's quest line. So if you've got this side of grace, I'm going to show you the little route you need to take and exactly how to get there. But we're going to be eventually traveling to the Mistwood outskirts, because you can directly cut through there. You're going to need to make your way to the Mistwood ruins until you hear a howl. It has to be around midnight, around nighttime generally. So you're going to hear a howl, and then what you're going to do is you're going to travel back to here. You're going to talk to the merchant. He's going to give you the quest line, give you a finger snap. You're going to go back to that location, go into a little square section, and use the finger snap. And you'll start Vlad's quest line off. Then you can make your way back down here along this path and fight the hound, and you're going to get the Bloodhound blade. And then I personally am using the great sword. There's tons of guides online of different builds you can use with the great sword. It is a very good starter weapon as well. You can obtain it by going along this route. Well, we'll see if I'm on the right route first. Yep. You follow the route right here. There's a convoy along one of these routes. I believe it's this one. It may be down this way. But like I said, there's tons of guides online. It's very easy to obtain. It's basically out of a chariot and a convoy. You open the back of a chest, and voila, you get this big, hefty greatsword. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to get right to it. So we're going to get on the horse. And just bear with me. This is definitely worth it. 100%. So the reason we're obtaining the bow is because it's part of the farming method. And this is how you're going to purchase it. You want to look down through here. There should be a little pillar somewhere or another. Okay. Drop down on this little ledge. You gotta be careful of where you drop down. Then you're gonna drop down right here. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up underneath here. We're gonna take a little visit to this dude.
What do you need? I don't want any trouble.
If I'm not mistaken, he will not. Yeah, this guy sells arrows. Sometimes he may not possibly sell arrows, but if not, you know, it is what it is. Short bow works. It's a bow and arrow. Okay, so what you're gonna do is, if he don't have arrows, you can go up here to Church of Ella, and he will definitely have some arrows if this guy does not have arrows. So what we're gonna do from here is we're gonna go ahead and run up along the shoreline. Should be a cave right here. Side of Grace down inside this cave. We'll have to come back to this dude later. We ain't really gotta fool with his quest or do with all that right now, as it is not a part of the farming method. Alright, well, we're gonna come back to this side of Grace. That's one main thing I like to do first, is get the important sites of Grace along this. But anyway, we're gonna start off here from that side of Grace. In my last video, I told everybody to definitely drop by and try to get. You're gonna follow the path, and then you're gonna hang a left after the bridge. If it's not time, you can fight this guy. If not, you don't want to deal with it or fool with it, that's alright. So we're gonna go to here. So that's gonna be our little track adventure, and we're gonna do this as I walk through it as well. See, now getting that cave. See, I already have arrows, so you definitely have to drop by and get you some arrows. But getting to this cave is important as well. So you're going to hear voices along through here. Keep in mind of where there's generally a little tree through here. We're going to come back and give that a little swingy swing with the sword. But yeah, we're going to come back to that. We're going to go get this side of Grace first. I always like to get my sides of Grace before I do anything. And I also am going to show you where to get the golden scarab as well. If you have to, feel free to skim through this cliff a bit. Should be somewhere along through here. Yeah, to the left a little bit. Right here. Tucked behind this rock. I'm gonna go ahead and rest at that Grace. And that would be the Mistwood outskirts. Okay, then you're gonna go back here. Then we're going to go take our sword to this bush over here. Should be along through here. You'll hear a voice saying, hey, hello, you know, yada yada. It'll be like a tree. And you just hit the tree with your sword. There should be signs around it generally. There wouldn't this load up, but that's okay. Then you're going to talk to a guy, and he's going to give you a quest line talking about some caves, dreaded caves and whatnot. What you're going to do is you're immediately going to go from there down here toward this little lake. once you get in front of this cave, you're going to initiate a boss fight. And be careful with it. I would definitely recommend having one of those weapons I showed you, and if you refer back to the farming technique in my previous video, you should have enough stats built up to use the great sword that I'm using. And also it comes in handy with using the weapons that I showed you as well, for whichever build you're using. So after the little mini boss fight here, after the little invasion, you want to make your way into the Murkwater Caves. Get your Salt of Grace. And be careful with this room. You'll have to really run over these guys. You'll have to cheese them. For me, I'm going to be spamming the R1. Rolled right into that one. Your first walkthrough, they're all going to attack you. You're going to make your way back and hang a left. There will be a mist you have to traverse. Then there's going to be a chest. You walk up, you grab the chest. It's going to initiate a boss fight. And the boss fight's going to be Patches. Be careful with this dude. Be ready to roll right off the rip. He's fairly easy to beat. This guy's name is Patches. You'll come here the second time after you warp out to that first side of Grace in the first of this tunnel right here. After you beat him, you're going to warp back to this side of Grace, and then you're going to go back into the tunnel. He should be able to, you can go in and purchase this missionary's cookbook. Now this cookbook's important for the gold foot, because that's the cookbook you're going to need to craft it. With that being said, after doing that, there will be a second chest. Avoid it for now, because it's just basically going to warp you in the middle of the woods that we need to go to show you the farming technique, so we ain't going to really fool with that right now. Alright, so if you've gotten this side of Grace, the Mistwood Outskirts, which I showed previously in the video, we're going to go ahead and fast travel over to that. And this method can be used as many times as needed. Same as the rune farm, same as the previous video with the rune farm. You just warp here, and what we're going to do is we're going to take off in a beeline straight into these woods. Follow my direct path. You're going to see a little pool of water, kind of hang left because we don't want to awake the rune bearer. And just keep spamming the triangle button, picking these little fireflies up. And then basically you just go back to the side of Grace, and then you can go back into the woods and keep getting them fireflies. It's a really good farming technique, and get as many as you want. And you're going to definitely need them for if you're doing some further rune farming methods. From there, we're going to go over to the cave that we discovered. What you're going to need here is that bow from the beginning of the video, because we're going to be farming bird feathers. These are the ingredients needed to create the gold foot, and this farming technique can be used as many times as possible. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take that off. I'm going to equip our bow. Oops. Okay, there should be a... this is continuing from the video. I'm going to go to the right here. There should be birds along through here. And what you're going to do is you're going to switch between the birds as quick as possible. Got some feathers. And I'm currently out of arrows, so yeah. That's basically what you do, and there's more birds on that end, more birds here. You want to purchase as many arrows as possible. So with that being said, after we've done that, you can travel back to this side of grace and rinse and repeat, just like the same as the other. Alright, from there, we're going to go ahead and travel to this place. Now, if you've referred back to my last video, with the rune farm technique, you should have this side of grace with getting the tortoise talisman, the tortoise emblem talisman. It's basically for stam recovery. Recovery. You'll want to go here. Which there is a side of grace along the way you'll definitely want to grab when coming over here and getting the tortoise talisman. And what we're going to do is we're going to make our way to this red region until we get to this wall. There will be another side of grace over here we're going to want to collect. So you want to follow the path, and there will be a side of grace alongside this called the Rock View Balcony. You're going to make your way up to that grace. And this is how you get the golden scarab. And I'm going to show you that what we did earlier is how we craft the golden foot. And like I said, you can take the golden scarab and stack it with these, so when you go back to your rune farm, you can get tremendous amounts of rune. It's like 150k, 100k, something like that, generally. Okay, so... Alright. So after getting this side of grace, you jump in the wall from the one path. You want to stick along this wall. These walls. Stick along them. Run along this path. Watch the blood army here. And right here is actually where you get the great sword as well, by the way. Out of that. But you do have to avoid the doggos. Unless you were goated. Let's see. Go ahead and grab this side of grace. You. Luckily he's stuck on a rock. So we're gonna go along through here, see where's what. What's what. There's so many doggos around here. No! Stay away! I do not have treats today. Okay, so you're gonna come along this wall eventually. Kinda went the rough way. Ouch! Again. Alright, so after that wall, you're gonna come over here. There's generally gonna be a root right here we're gonna hang down on. We'll run across the root, being very careful. Alright. We're gonna collect the site of grace. It's gonna be the abandoned cave site of grace. And with those ingredients I showed you how to craft earlier, after getting that cookbook, you'll be able to use those birds will drop the four-toed foulfoot and the feathers. Then you get the red stuff from the berry one in the forest I showed you how to grab near the rune berries. And the gold fireflies, you'll get those as well. So you can run through the forest and get the red berries, and the golden fireflies is where I showed you how to get that. So just make sure anytime the red berries are all over the map, mainly whenever you redo the rune berry one, you can grab those up in the forest. So that being said, you can just craft you a few of these, and you can keep farming that technique. So you're gonna make sure that you have some vigor on this one, as vigor helps your health. Go ahead and double click that and make sure your heals are up. Me, I have two, so I'm gonna take a jump right here. Then we're gonna, ouch, definitely wanted to avoid that. Take a jump right here. Hang right. Jump here. Gotta watch my health. Jump. Yep. This video, we're going to make our way to the abandoned cave. Fairly simple to get to. You're going to start from the Summon Water Village outskirts, which is near where you get the turtle talisman. You're going to stick yourself along this pathway here, staying along the beaten path, and then you're going to get the Rock View Balcony, Site of Grace. You're going to travel along. There's another Site of Grace. So starting from Calum Ruins, you're going to go all the way down through here. There's going to be a red molten wall right here, with a little looking glass. You're going to make your way to the left, down below this little hillside here, and then go where the little drop off with the ledge is. There will be a route connecting over that you can cross on torrent to get into this cave. And then we're going to get into the abandoned cave. So if you haven't already, you're definitely going to want to have some of these preserving boluses. A lot of times, I mean, you can pick this stuff up along the way. There are tons of guides also online on how to, what different locations to find these. It basically, it cures rot and keeps you from having scarlet build up. So it comes in clutch when getting the Scarab, the golden Scarab. And also from my last video, the farming technique I used, you can use that cookbook which you obtain off of patches. And in the forest you can get those red berries. They're all over the map. The birds, they drop the feet. They generally drop the feet. And then the golden fireflies is right there where the rune bear was. So after stacking up and doing that farming technique, you'll have plenty of these. You can use the golden foot on top of the scarab to double up on your rune that you get. And if you refer back to my last video, you can see, in my opinion, and I truly believe it to be the best rune farm in Elden Ring. With that being said, we're going to hang straight right here, and we're going to try to jump on these little mushrooms down here. We're going to try to time it till after this geyser goes. Alright, there it went. I'm going to jump. Give it a little roll, roll, roll. Go here. I'm going to go ahead and use one of these. Keep from getting that build up. Jump here. Run. There's a technique to all of this. I would definitely recommend for these two bosses up here to use the summon, as it's going to help you out tremendously. Right here we're going to hang a rock. Ouch. Can't be doing all that. No, Jeffrey! Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and buff up. Go ahead and get this together. Almost one-shots me immediately. Being said, there's the golden scarab. Double check this room, make sure there ain't nothing else we can get. Nada nada. Alright. So with that being said, return to the entrance, or we can go ahead and just warp ourselves over. After getting the emblem and whatnot, you can go over here, go ahead and hit your golden foot from the farming technique I showed you. And it's good to know how to craft them. You can always purchase them. This is a very easy way and cheap way to farm the golden feet. So the golden scarab is a talisman. I'm going to go ahead and equip it. It increases runes obtained from defeating enemies. And then you can go ahead and once you're up to the glitch spot, you can go ahead and use the fouled foot, and it will give you that added bonus onto the rune farm. Be sure to drop by and check my previous video, as I show you a whole guide on how to do this rune farming technique. And with that being said, thank you for watching the video. Leave a like, leave a subscription, and until next time.